Overlander family. Today we will be traveling from Sierra Leone to Liberia. I don't know if you're a backpacker or you're a regional traveler or you're just curious about Overland in West Africa. Today I will be giving you a little more extra details of how you can take this journey. It was for me an impressive one, maybe because I took a break, but I will tell you the step by step how to go about it.
I started my trip in Freetown, Sierra Leone's bustling capital. From there, you can either take a shared taxi or local bus heading southwest towards Bo Town. I chose the bus because it was cheaper. Taxis are faster, anyways. Expect about 3 to 5 hours on the road. Since the cars that go to Liberia are not having a specific schedule, I recommend you spend a night or two in Town to save you some time to rest and recuperate because the journey is far away.
1 liter.
From Bo Town in Sierra Leone, I went to Bo Waterside in Liberia. All right, that's not a mistake. The very first city in Liberia is also called Bo. I don't know why. All right. So this trip actually was very, very stress free. There were a couple of police checkpoints on the way, as usual. But the reason for the checkpoint is because of, I wouldn't say it loud in camera. And the drivers had already taken it from us, so they gave it to them. Just make sure you have all your documents. That's why I stayed quiet.
If you're enjoying this journey and want to see more West Africa travel trips and Central Africa, don't forget to check out the other travel videos on the channel. I've shared routes, border crossings, train trips, and I'll be sharing more about hidden gems in the future. Very, very soon.
We got to the border as usual. Border is always the ping 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 time or time. What does that even mean? It means anything can happen. When we arrived at Sierra Leone border, we had to walk around some kind of canopy section, and then we went from one police office to the other office to the other office. They wrote my name like a million times. I had to show my yellow fever card, I think 3 or 4 times. There were about 6 offices that I walked in and out, in and out, in and out, saying my name, why I'm traveling, where I'm from, and I don't know why, but they were writing literally on ledgers with pen and pencil. And all right. It took a long while, a couple of questions. They were impressed to see a single solo female Central African traveling West Africa. Maybe my people don't travel a lot. I don't know why. But then the Sierra Leoneans were very welcoming and they thanked me for visiting their country. I spent almost a month in Sierra Leone, and in my opinion, it was fairly interesting country to live in. After discussing and answering the million questions from the Sierra Leonean side, we had to cross a bridge. I mean, for me, this was the most beautiful part about this road trip. I just have to mention it. There is an awesome, I don't know if it's a river or a pond or what it is, but it was big, beautiful, calm, quiet. I stood on that wooden, was it wooden or steel bridge? Very old one with a gate almost like you're entering into a palace. It was just beautiful. That place, if you have to travel, please make sure you have extra time to stand there and just soak in the nature of Liberia and Sierra Leone. Anyway, when we arrived the Liberian side, the very first office in the wooden cabin beside the bridge, was a health check section. I had to show my yellow fever card, and I don't know if I showed my COVID-19 vaccine card. In fact, any and every vaccine that they might ask, just come with all of your health documents so that, you might not be interrogated for too long. After that, then I got to the police section, showed the visa. Actually, I applied for the Liberian visa in the Liberian embassy in Sierra Leone. So, if you're Cameroonian, you cannot just go to Liberia. You have to get the visa. It was almost $100, fairly expensive, but that's what it is. So I got that from the Liberian embassy, and it was easy. They just checked, stamped, and asked me where I'll be living in Liberia. I told them, and that was it. In a few minutes, we were off again in the car on our way to Liberia. I must mention that the road was really, really bumpy from the Liberian side, to some extent, not all throughout, anyways. And we passed a couple of villages. It was just, I would say, natural, because I'm African, to say that we are almost the same every part. Maybe not every part, but most parts. And it was just a natural feeling that I was still moving around. I almost didn't feel like I was even in another country. Why do I say that? Because the final stop in Liberia is called Duala, and Duala is actually the name of a city in my country. So it almost felt like I was just moving inside my home country. When we arrived, the shared taxi station or park in Monrovia, I had to find either a tricycle or a bike, because I heard that the part of Monrovia where I had booked my hostel to spend the night, cars don't go there. And I didn't know. It was challenging to, first of all, have someone to help me, because the Liberian accent, I couldn't understand them, they couldn't understand me. So it took a while, but I finally found a very kind guy who was really willing to help me negotiate the price, because, as I was saying, with my obvious Cameroonian accent, the price was higher. So he helped me, he negotiated, and I was able to go to my hotel. I recommend you take this trip very early in the morning so that you arrive enough time during the day. And the distance was almost 6 to 7 hours, yeah, because we spent some time around the border, moving from one corner to the other on foot. So I would recommend you start early in the morning, carry all your legal documents that show who you are, because their immigrations were a little bit rigid to check and, verify who I was. Maybe because they don't see Central Africans traveling a lot there, and why would I be doing it? I don't know why. So that's my recommendation. But this trip was fairly easy. The roads were just a few potholes, and the scene around many villages almost felt like it was, at home, for me at least. So I recommend that you plan in advance, and you can take the trip when you're ready, of course. So in Monrovia, I did a lot of things. I stayed around Mamba Point, and I will be making another video to give you the details of what you can do there.
This trip can be taken in one day. Some vloggers and bloggers have mentioned that. However, I recommend taking a break in Town. If you have not checked, liked, subscribed, and clicked on the notification bell, now is the final time to do it. I mean, like in my niece's voice. Bye bye.